The silent response. Plasma fire etched brilliant scars across the darkness of space as the Navari and Kelthid fleets clashed in the disputed Cygnus expanse. Their vessels, the insectoid geometries of Kelthid warships and the crystalline spires of Navari cruisers, danced a lethal ballet around the neutral transit point of Vega Station. Caught in the chaos, the human diplomatic vessel Concordia drifted through designated civilian lanes, its transponders broadcasting neutrality protocols in 16 galactic standard frequencies. Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge, her fingers gripping the command rail as another shockwave rattled the hull. "Navigation officer, how much longer until we clear the combat zone?" she asked, keeping her voice steady despite the anxiety tightening her chest. Lieutenant Sato consulted his displays, which flickered under electromagnetic interference. 7 minutes to safe transit, Captain, assuming the designated corridor remains open. Chen nodded, glancing at the passenger manifest on her secondary display. 73 diplomats, cultural attaches, and their families, including 29 children. They were returning from the Galactic Concord's annual assembly, where humanity had once again petitioned for full membership status among the elder races. "Keep broadcasting our civilian status," Chen ordered, "and maintain course. We follow protocol." On the main view screen, a new energy signature bloomed, massive and unregistered, neither Kelthid nor Navari in origin. "Unknown weapon discharge," shouted the sensor officer. The blast came without warning, a wave of twisted space-time that engulfed the Concordia in silent fury. The diplomatic vessel shuddered once, then split apart like a dying star, its hull peeling back in elegant, terrible patterns as atmosphere vented into vacuum. In the final moments before the communication array disintegrated, emergency broadcasts captured the screams of children, the prayers of diplomats, and Captain Chen's final order to abandon ship. None of the escape pods launched. There were no survivors. Aboard the Navari command vessel Eternal Light, High Commander Verrill received the incident report with barely a twitch of his luminescent tendrils. "Regrettable," he stated, his translator converting the pulses of light his species used for communication. "Log it as collateral damage from Kelthid aggression." On the Kelthid high ship clutch of victory, Warrior Queen Kithrix clicked her mandibles in irritation when informed of the human vessel's destruction. "Irrelevant," she chittered. "The lesser species should have known better than to transit during battle." Noted as an unfortunate navigation error. The Galactic Concorde convened an emergency session that lasted precisely 12 minutes. Their conclusion: while unfortunate, the incident reflects the inherent risks of space travel in contested regions. No formal censure is warranted. And from Earth, nothing. No diplomatic protests. No demands for reparations. No military mobilization. Just silence. For 3 standard cycles, the silence persisted. Analysts speculated that perhaps humanity had finally accepted its place as a minor power in the galactic hierarchy. Some suggested internal political struggles had paralyzed Earth's response. Others simply forgot about the incident entirely, as new conflicts and trade disputes claimed the Concorde's attention. Then, on the 4th cycle, sensors around Kelthid Prime, the ancestral homeworld of the insectoid species, registered a gravitational anomaly unlike any previously recorded. The anomaly didn't appear with the characteristic flash of a jump exit or the rippling distortion of a wormhole terminus. It simply was there, a perfect sphere of distorted space-time hovering above the planet's northern hemisphere. In the Kelthid High Command Center buried beneath the chitinous spires of the capital city, Fleet Overseer Chikara watched the readings with growing unease. "What is it?" she demanded, her mandibles clicking rapidly. "Unknown, Overseer," replied the sensor technician, his exoskeleton visibly trembling. "It doesn't match any known propulsion signature. But it's expanding." The anomaly pulsed once, a heartbeat of distorted reality. And then it opened, not like a door or a portal, but like a wound in space itself. edges peeling back to reveal something massive and dark within. The vessel that emerged was unlike any warship in the known galaxy. No gleaming metal, no visible weapons arrays, no engine nacelles or communication dishes. It resembled a mountain carved from obsidian, utterly black and featureless, absorbing rather than reflecting light. Only its size registered on sensors, 17 kilometers from bow to stern, with a mass that distorted local gravity fields, and emblazoned across its prow in letters taller than most buildings. JÖRMUNGANDR. Human designation, whispered Chikara, her compound eyes widening. That's a human ship. The JÖRMUNGANDR moved with impossible grace for its size, sliding through space as if the normal laws of inertia didn't apply. Kelthid defensive platforms activated automatically, unleashing barrages of plasma torpedoes and graviton beams that should have obliterated any vessel. The weapons fire simply vanished upon reaching the dark hull. Not deflected, not absorbed, simply ceased to exist. Chikara slammed her claw against the emergency broadcast control. All available fleet elements converge on the intruder. This is Priority Alpha. 4 Kelthid battlecruisers responded, breaking orbit to intercept the human vessel. Each was a triumph of Kelthid biomechanical engineering, grown and built over decades, capable of devastating entire planetary defense systems. The JÖRMUNGANDR didn't fire. It didn't change course. It simply continued its implacable advance toward Kelthid Prime's orbital defense grid. Then, as the Kelthid vessels closed to engagement range, reality folded. A sphere of distorted space expanded outward from the human vessel, invisible except for how it bent starlight around its edges. When it touched the first Kelthid cruiser, the alien ship didn't explode. It imploded, collapsing inward as if crushed by an invisible hand, its hull crumpling like tissue paper before dissolving into component atoms. The second and third cruisers suffered the same fate, their destruction so complete that not even debris remained. The fourth cruiser attempted to flee, its engines blazing at emergency thrust. The JÖRMUNGANDR extended what appeared to be a single beam of concentrated darkness. Not energy, but its absence. Where it touched the fleeing vessel, matter simply unraveled, the ship splitting apart into perfectly symmetrical halves that drifted away from each other in eerie silence. In the High Command Center, Chikara watched in horror as the most powerful warships in the Kelthid arsenal were eliminated without apparent effort. For the first time in her long military career, she felt something alien to her species' psychology: despair. "Overseer," croaked the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from the human vessel. Text only." The message appeared on the main display, stark white letters against black. 4 days ago, UUMURDERET, our Shield. Today, we swear. The JÖRMUNGANDR continued its advance toward Kelthid Prime, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The terms of humanity. Panic erupted throughout Kelthid space. Emergency transmissions flooded subspace channels as the homeworld's defensive grid mobilized. Civilian ships fled from orbital stations, creating chaotic traffic patterns that hampered military response. The Hive Queens ordered full planetary evacuation protocols, even as they retreated to deep bunkers beneath the surface. The Navari, learning of the human vessel's appearance, dispatched their grand fleet, 200 warships armed with technologies considered mythical by lesser species. They emerged from jump points surrounding Kelthid Prime in perfect formation, their crystalline hulls gleaming in the system's dual suns. The JÖRMUNGANDR paused its advance, hanging motionless above the night side of Kelthid Prime like a black star. Both alien fleets opened fire simultaneously, unleashing weapons that could shatter moons and sterilize planets. Energy beams, graviton torpedoes, dimensional warheads, and exotic particles converged on the human vessel in a display of firepower that temporarily outshone the system's stars. When the barrage ended and sensors could function again, The JÖRMUNGANDR remained unmoved and unmarked, a silent monument to humanity's technological supremacy. Deep within the vessel, Captain Helena Frost sat in her command chair, her posture rigid, her expression carved from the same unyielding material as her ship. She was not young. Silver threaded through her dark hair, and lines of experience marked her face, but her eyes burned with an intensity that made her bridge crew stand straighter in her presence. "Status report," she said, her voice quiet yet carrying to every corner of the bridge. Commander Alexei Volkov, her XO, consulted his displays. "Alien weapon discharge neutralized, Captain. 0 damage to outer hull layers. Gravitational displacement engines holding stable." Frost nodded once. "And our visitors?" Lieutenant Sarah Chen, whose mother had captained the Concordia, spoke from the tactical station, her voice carefully controlled. "Both Kelthid and Navari fleets maintaining position, Captain. Energy signatures suggest they're charging weapons for another salvo." "Let them," Frost said. "Commence Phase 2. Throughout the JÖRMUNGANDR, systems activated that had never been revealed to the galactic community. Not weapons in the conventional sense, but something far more profound. Technology that manipulated the fundamental forces of reality itself. The space around the human vessel rippled, not with energy or matter, but with potential. Every ship in both alien fleets suddenly found their weapon systems offline, their engines dormant, their communication arrays silent. Not damaged or destroyed, simply rendered irrelevant by laws of physics the humans had discovered and the elder races had missed. On the bridge of the Navari flagship, High Commander Verrill felt fear for the first time in his 3-century existence. "What are they?" he whispered, tendrils pulsing erratically. Deep in her bunker beneath Kelthid Prime, Warrior Queen Kithrix received reports of the fleet's neutralization with mandibles clicking in agitation. "How can they possess such power? They are barely a space-faring species." The answer came moments later as the JÖRMUNGANDR broadcast to every receiver in the system and to the Galactic Concord beyond, not in audio or video, but in pure information injected directly into their communication networks. It wasn't propaganda or threats. It was the truth. Humanity had achieved interstellar travel centuries before revealing themselves to the galactic community. They had spent those centuries watching, learning, and preparing. They had witnessed countless atrocities committed by the elder races against emerging civilizations. They had documented every broken treaty, every accidental genocide, every resource-driven conquest, disguised as cultural exchange. And they had developed technologies based not on the standard paradigms of the galactic powers, but on principles so fundamental and yet so overlooked that they might as well have been operating in a different universe entirely. For 300 years, humanity had hidden its true capabilities, presenting itself as a minor power seeking acceptance among the stars. The destruction of the Concordia had simply forced their hand. Captain Frost rose from her command chair and approached the viewscreen showing the paralyzed alien fleets. "Open direct channel to both flagships and the Kelthid throne chamber," she ordered. "Visual and audio." The faces of the alien commanders appeared on her screen, the luminous, tentacled visage of Verrill and the chitinous, compound-eyed countenance of Kithrix. "I am Captain Helena Frost of the Earth vessel JÖRMUNGANDR, she stated, her voice level. 4 days ago, you murdered 73 of our people, including 29 children, aboard a diplomatic vessel clearly broadcasting its civilian status. Neither alien leader spoke. Your silence," Frost continued, "was taken as acknowledgement of your intent. The Galactic Concord's inaction was noted as complicity. Humanity remained silent not out of weakness, but to give you time to reconsider your actions and offer restitution." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. "That time has passed. These are our terms. You will acknowledge your responsibility for the deaths of our people. You will provide compensation to their families according to human custom. You will withdraw all military forces from the human claimed sectors listed in the data package now being transmitted to your systems. Frost's eyes hardened. Failure to comply within 1 standard hour will result in a demonstration that makes today's events seem trivial by comparison. We do not wish conflict, but we will not tolerate the murder of our children. The alien leaders exchanged glances through their respective screens. You cannot expect two sovereign powers to capitulate to. Kithrix began. The JÖRMUNGANDR pulsed once, and somewhere in the Kelthid home system, a small uninhabited moon shattered into perfect geometric fragments that immediately began reorganizing themselves into an orbital arrangement, spelling out the names of the human dead. 59 minutes remaining, Frost said simply. They complied. In the aftermath, the galactic balance of power shifted irrevocably. Humanity revealed only a fraction of their capabilities, enough to establish themselves as a power to be respected, not feared. The JÖRMUNGANDR returned to Earth space, where it remained as a silent guardian, a reminder of humanity's resolve. The Galactic Concord, shaken by the revelation of human technological superiority, unanimously approved Earth's application for full membership. Trade agreements were renegotiated. Cultural exchanges flourished. Ancient alien archives were open to human researchers, and humanity reciprocated with carefully selected scientific insights. Captain Frost never commanded another vessel. She retired to a small island on Earth, where she established a memorial garden for the Concordia's passengers and crew. It was said that she spent hours each day tending to 73 different species of flowers, one for each lost soul. And throughout the galaxy, when disputes arose between powers great and small, when diplomacy faltered and weapons were readied, leaders would pause and remember the black ship that had appeared above Kelthid Prime, and the silence would return, not of fear, but of wisdom. For humanity had taught the stars an ancient lesson, one written in their earliest texts. The truly powerful need not boast of their strength, and the truly wise need not demonstrate their knowledge. Until, of course, they must.